All right, this is James Pelton here today with a little bit of a different twist on my live videos. Usually I have a project on here for an AMA, but something that me and JC have been talking about for a long time is I have a very big drip downline, but I've never really worked with my drip downline on like, hey, if you want to have your own downline, how do you build your team? Because that is an important part to really the drip ecosystem. Is if these people down here built their own teams, that would be good for you as an audience, and it would be good for the drip ecosystem. So I wanted to have JC on here just to kind of brainstorm, talk through how he thinks through team building, talk through how I think about team building. If you're in the audience, first thing I need from you is to hit the like button, again, to trick the YouTube algorithm and make them show this to more people. And then if you have things to contribute, either questions or things that you've done that have been successful in getting your downline created, we would love to hear that. Again, because everybody's going to have different perspectives. Mine's a lot different than JC's. I started as a YouTuber. And so, how I think about building a downline is just going to be different than how most people are going to. So I'm excited just to kind of have a conversation here. So as people start to pile in, yeah, please hit the like button. And if you have comments, please leave them. So first we'll start. JC, could you please start by giving just a quick introduction to yourself,
Sure.
quick plug for your YouTube channel, and maybe talk about how you got into drip just briefly.
Yeah, absolutely. So for anybody that doesn't know, I am JCCrypto, and I did not start out this journey with a YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is fairly new. I'm assuming there might be a link in the description for it. But no, I got into drip last September. Just a normal, everyday, regular guy. Drip was actually the very first DeFi project that I got into, and it was also obviously has been the best DeFi project I've gotten into. Did a show with James earlier this week on another channel, and we talked about Drip being one of his best as well. And so by far, Drip has been the best platform that I've been into. Since that day in September, I have been successful with team building in a large part to having James as part of my downline for my total team without question. But even my directs, I think I'm up to 460 directs. Let's just call it. I think it may be a little over that now. But so I've had some success with team building. The real reason, the way that I built my team was through writing on Medium articles, right? You don't have to be a YouTuber to get downline referrals for that. And we're going to talk a little bit about both angles of that coming up, because like James said, that's how James built his team. He already had the channel and it was incredible, and he's hugely successful for it. But normal everyday people can also build large teams, because that's all I was. I was just, like I said, Drip was the very first DeFi project. So since then, of course, I've been in and out of different projects, rug pools, everything else. Everything always comes back to Drip, because Drip is the primary project. In March, I sold my software company. And so had a software company, had some partnership issues with it, was making plenty of money in DeFi at that point to replace my revenue. It made it a really easy transition to sell my software company to my partner. I took 100% of the funds from selling that software company, because I'm a true degen, and put it straight into DeFi. I did. I guess probably about 90% of it went into DeFi. Some of it went into a little more stable stuff. But I did that to solidify my position in Drip, so that I knew that even through a long period of downturn, like what we've had recently, that Drip could still pay my salary. And so I have still been able to pay myself a salary from Drip every single week, all the way through this downturn. Even when the price was down around $5, I was still able to pay myself a salary from Drip, because I built my strategy specifically around that, and my hydrating and everything else. So there you go. That's a little bit of my story. And then I started my YouTube channel in March when I sold the software company. Kind of decided, you know what? I've got to have something that I tell people that I do now, because being 41 years old and saying, oh, I'm retired now and I live off of passive income from crypto, that's not the way to go about it for me living in a small town. So I needed something. And so I tell people that I'm a 12-year-old girl influencer and on YouTube all the time. And we have a lot of fun with that.
Okay, yeah, that's a very cool story. I think that's a story that a lot of people would like to do is, get out of their job, go full-time into DeFi. So what how I'd maybe like to organize this is I like steps. I'm kind of an engineer brain. So maybe let's start with some steps of if you want to start building your downline. And so step one, and maybe I'll say what I think the steps are, and JC, you can expand and correct me when I'm wrong, and things like that. But I really wanted to make sure step one, building any downline, whether it be drip or anywhere else, is that you actually believe in the project that you are promoting. I think a lot of people
Absolutely.
think I can make some extra money by getting a downline. Don't do it if you don't believe in the project yourself.
And don't fall into that trap, right? And you're exactly right. And guys, also everything that we're talking about right here today is relevant to every other project out there that has team building, right? All of these same things apply. But what James said is so important because you guys all know James really well, right? Like you're subscribed to his channel, James. James is an exceptionally genuine guy. He genuinely cares about the people that he puts things in front of. He genuinely cares that people are successful. That's what people want. That's why he's got 45,000 subscribers on YouTube, because he's a genuine guy, right? He is not out here shilling trash. He's going to interview a lot of projects and he's going to talk to a lot of projects, but that's not the same thing as building a team for those projects and fully getting behind them. And so be genuine in whatever you do. You have to be genuine with that. James, I'll let you make the point you just made in the chat, because that's another point I wanted to make sure and make today. And so in the chat, James just says you absolutely don't need a team, but it helps. That is so much what's true in this. I have, as does James, we both have drip wallets. And as good as we are at team building, we both have drip wallets that do not build teams under, because you can absolutely do this and run this successfully in any DeFi project that's not a scam without team building. If you can't do this without team building, the project should not be promoted because it's a scam. Right? The ones that are just all team build, and no substance, you can't do that. So believe in the project, absolutely 100%. Go, James.
Yeah, thank you. No, that was great. Yeah, and that's actually in the US, that's the definition of an MLM that's illegal. A pyramid scheme is if you're not able to do it without building a team. In the US, it's technically illegal. There has to be a product that you don't need to build a team. Now that can speed you along, that can make you a lot of extra money, but it's not necessary. So along with that, so here's where I'm at. I have not promoted drip for many months, since probably like January, because I've just seen kind of the price go down, and I've just been a little, hey, I don't know where this is going, what's going to happen with it. I'm not a drip maxi, if you will. But
I've been told that I'm also not a drip maxi.
Hey, perfect. Maxi's probably not good. But the timing of this was good, because this is the first time, I'm not a TA master, but if you zoom out, this is the first uptrend that we've seen since January. So in your opinion, is now a good time to get into drip?
I mean, my honest thoughts, right? And this is, of course, all not financial advice, because again, I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a financial analyst. I am none of this. I'm a regular guy that got into drip at a great time and built a great project around it. Yes, I do. For me personally, I think anywhere under $15, $20 is a great place to get into drip. I think that I can make a case for anywhere under $50 is a great place to get into drip. And I guess you could call me a drip maxi in that sense, in that I do fully believe in all of the things coming to the ecosystem when they finally make it here. I believe that there will be a time that we're off to the races, right? We saw it happen once. And if you look at this big, long, continued downtrend, it's because of lack of catalyst. Okay, lack of catalyst to create an uptrend because of the farm being paused. And that's really what this is all about. And so what we've seen this week, right? So we've seen this run over the last few days. To me, the biggest thing that's kind of going unspoken with this run over the last few days is the fact that the drip garden has gone up significantly in TVL. I mean, we were down in the 370s, 380s, 390s. And last I saw the number, it was like 421,000, right? That, for those that don't fully understand how important that is to the drip platform as a whole, that's a big part of what caused the massive pump all the way up to the top, right? It is locking up that drip bus DLP tokens. And Jax is right too. Bear market absolutely contributed to some of this too. But we've watched the drip garden TVL fall. That's affecting the drip price. But as the animal farm comes back online, as more people are getting into the drip garden, more marketing is happening to that. Every time you go into the drip garden, that's locking up drip. That is buying drip, taking it out of the total supply, locking it away in a contract where it can't be sold. And that's part of it. And then the rest of the farm and doing all of that. So the drip garden, I think, is playing a huge role right now in this current run up. And I believe in the future too, the rest of it will. So yeah, I think now's a great time to get into drip. I think 2 weeks ago would have been the best time. And my dad's the luckiest guy in the world because he is the volume spike right in the middle of that big first day, bouncing off of 469. Dad is the huge volume spike of $100,000 right there on that day. He's a lucky guy.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, and so that's where, yeah, I have a hard time when I looked at this chart. For me personally, again, I love drip. I think it's masterfully written. The community is an interesting community. But I just had a really hard time showing people this chart and saying, yeah, I think it's great to get in. But we do see this kind of uptrend now. There's we have a CMO now. There's big things coming for drip that are actually starting to come out now. And you're totally right. This liquidity number there, 8.6 million in liquidity. That's very strong. Okay. That's
and
really,
that's just one liquidity pool too, right? So, let's make sure that everybody understands that drip has two different liquidity pools. You've got the internal DEX liquidity pool plus the bus D liquidity pool. And yes, I say bus D for those that don't know me yet.
Bus D. Well, that just took away all your credentials, and
I know, right? Now it's been a whole thing for a long time.
Okay, so I'm okay talking about drip right now and promoting it. I may put out a drip video here before too long, but I do like to see, just from a TA perspective, the first uptrend that we've had since January. So I just wanted to get that out of the way.
And you and I've talked about this offline too in the past, right? About this exactly, because like you said in the beginning, we've been talking about for a long time doing this exact video and talking about team building to get a lot more of your downline. If you look at James's downline, which I do because I'm his team leader, and so I know his downline pretty well, his total directs and his total team actually match very closely together, closer than say mine do, right? And that's because he has never had the platform to help involve other people into team building, which is why we're doing this today. But one of the things that James wanted to wait on to do this video was to start to see this turnaround happen. And so, if you look at the 2-day chart for drip, it looks incredible. The 7-day chart looks great. Even if you back out to the 30-day chart for drip, we're in a really solid, strong position right now for the 30-day chart for drip, and everything's looking like it's trending the right direction. So now is the time to go. And here's a plug for team building, right? So, and James, you can attest to this too. You added the most directs between the months of between December 27th and February. That is when you added the most directs. And same for me, right? I was having times, and I never near the levels that James was, but I was having times where I was getting 5 and 6 new directs every single day in that time period. Guys, that's why this video is so important right now. If you believe in the project, and only if you believe in the project, you should not show projects you don't believe in. Now is the time to learn about team building for drip, how we do it, how I do it, how James does it, where we differ, what options are available to you, because you want to get this machine started now so that when the big bull run hits and people start FOMOing into drip, that's when you really start seeing the results of this. And I know Jax is watching right now. He and I had this exact same discussion a few weeks ago. He's been pumping out articles and going, and we're going to talk more about that later too. So
Yeah,
carry on.
no, awesome point that, yeah, there's not a lot of people looking into drip right now because of
Right.
they just look at the chart, right? And that's what
Yeah.
they're looking at. We kind of, if you understand what is being built, you're part of the Telegram group, you've been listening to Forex's AMAs, you kind of know what's coming. And so, yeah, it's better to start now rather than waiting till we're up wherever we end up. Definitely now is a good time to get started. So that's step one. Believe in what you're promoting. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Make sure nobody's doing this just to make some money. Step two, which we can't forget this, is you need to buy some BR34P tokens. Can you talk through
Absolutely.
that and how many you think people should buy? Should people just
So
buy two to start out with, or what do you
yeah,
think about
well, you got to start with like 2.2, right? There's a tax. The tax is not 10%, but I'm not a details guy. I never really pay attention to it. I just buy 2.2. And so you definitely want to have at least two if you're going to be team building. If you plan on building a large team and then promoting those guys to go out and help build their teams as well, for me, the ideal number is 5 levels. Okay. We can go down to 15 levels. And that could be great, right? But I can tell you right now that my largest team wallet has 38, let's call it 3,800 because I don't have exact numbers. I'm working to pull it up here, but I'm on the wrong network. So my largest team wallet has 3,800 people on it, 3,803. Okay. So 3,803 people on my largest drip wallet. James, I'm going to share my screen here. Share screen. That one, don't put it on yet. There we go. So let's look at my drip downline right here.
show that one? Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Of course, I just refreshed. I know, right? So this is what 3,800 team members look like. There we go. Okay, so this is what 3,800 team members look like in a downline. Okay, again, this is my largest team wallet total there. But let's count the white lines here, right? So you've got the first level, you've got the second level, 3, 4, and then it starts to die off after 4 levels. Guys, I have 3,800 total team members, and 5 levels of BREAP covers me for 95% of it, right? You know, we've all got outliers like this that decided to do the vertical self-referring, and congratulations to you guys for thinking you're smarter than everybody. It's not that helpful or beneficial to you, but that's the point I want to make, because people see that BREAP chart and they think, oh man, 15 levels. Wow. There are very few people in the ecosystem, even all the way up to the top, that are covered for more than 8 or 9 levels total. Like even the top handful of wallets, they're covered for 8 or 9 levels max. But for me at my level, at this one, again, 5 levels deep with 3,800 team members is more than enough. I like to say, hey, just get 3 levels and see how it works, because it just takes 3 tokens to get 3 levels, right? 5 tokens maybe for 3 levels. Back to your screen.
Yeah, 5 for 3 levels.
5 tokens for 3 levels. And so 5 tokens get you 3 levels, you know, 3 tokens get you 2 levels. Both of those are sufficient to get started. Try your hand at it, but absolutely buy the BREAP token, buy a little bit more than you should because of taxes on that. Make sure that that's happening on version 1 of Pancake Swap. That's the important kicker there. Pancake Swap V1 for that. And yeah, that's it. You know, that's all you can really say about BREAP. It is well worth it if you're going to work to build a team. Team building rewards are worth it. You know, we've shown it time and time again.
Yeah, no, thanks for, yeah. So that's how you buy. So yeah, you want to make sure that you have at least 2. Okay. Yeah. And like you said, 2.2, just make sure you can pay the taxes. and maybe you can start small. One thing I did was I was like, I don't know what kind of downline I'm going to have. So I started out by just buying two, and then I saw, oh, I have 500 now in one. I should probably go at least two deep. So then you can expand and say, okay, well, I've got 80 second tier ones. Maybe I better go third. And you can kind of just see where you start kind of fading out, where it's like, oh, I don't have any fifth line. I don't need to buy that. And there's a big jump between like 13 and 21, buying an extra 8 reap.
Right.
So I like that too. Most of my wallets, I have a whole bunch of wallets too, and most of mine I end up with the 13 or 8.
Right.
Is where I end up.
And so, this team wallet, I actually, because I got in fairly early, right? I got in when I bought most of my B Reap tokens, the price was down around $11-12. And so I was actually holding at one point something like almost 70 B Reap tokens for that wallet that we just showed. And after kind of getting in with other team wallets and things like that, I was like, you know what? There is no reason to be carrying this much on here. There's zero extra additional reward benefit for that. And so I spread that out across my other two team wallets. I have 3 team wallets. I spread that, and I guess a fourth after today. I spread that out between those 2 team wallets and got everybody to 6 levels. So 5 is sufficient. I run 6 levels. And again, I do that on other similar projects as well, because I've seen what a large team structure really truly looks like. And a large team structure really is 5 and 6 levels deep, and not more than that for a long time.
Okay. So very cool. So number 1, believe in what you're promoting. Number 2, buy some B Reap tokens. Probably 2.2 at least.
Reward. Ooh,
Yes.
hey, additional caveat to that too. Learn and understand net deposit value. Okay. It is the least talked about mechanism in the system. It is the most important metric in the drip ecosystem. Net deposit value is a big formula of what you've claimed out of the system, what your deposits are, how much you've airdropped out, what your referral rewards have been, and you've got to maintain a positive NDV value to be able to receive team building rewards, right? Along with that, for those that aren't as big on the team building rewards part, you also have to have a positive NDV value to receive airdrops, to be eligible to receive any airdrop, even if it's just the automatic airdrop from hitting a team wallet with a hydrate. You will not get that automatic kickback from a team wallet if you have an NDV that's negative. So NDV positive is just as important as having your B Reap tokens.
See, I did not realize that. See, this is why we bring JC on here. He's got it all figured out. Jay, you've been invaluable. Is that the right word? Yeah, you've been invaluable to me and just keeping me straight on what I need to do and all these things. So I appreciate that.
How about I turn on my lights so you can see me too? Sorry for that. I forgot to turn on my lights.
No, you're good. Yeah, now you look better now. Very cool. And Arvin, I don't want to ignore your question, but I just don't want to discuss it right now. I will discuss that at some other point. I just don't want to turn this video into that. But I would love to discuss that sometime. So ask again on another video and we'll talk about that. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2, now you're ready to start building your team. Now, what I did was I just took avenues that I already had an audience of some kind. And again, this is unique from probably most people. And I just said, hey, I really like this. You can get involved too. Here's my link. So that's how I did it. Can you kind of talk about your journey in promotion and then what you would recommend for people who aren't?
And I think you've got a starred comment over there specifically asking this towards me too. That'd be good to pull up from OWeb. Also, what's up, OWeb? See you everywhere. So did I get attraction on Medium with Drip? How did I do that? Did they join me? Did I already have a Telegram group? Guys, I started from nothing, right? I was a fairly early member in the Cryptozoa group. Like I was in there within the first 2 to 3 months. I did have the benefit of being part of Team Cryptozoa when I did this. And I cannot say enough about how Patrick helped me in my journey and my buddy Catalyst as well. And so kind of the way that I got started, and there's an article linked down below too, that's important. We're going to talk more about those two later. And I tell some of this story in that article. The way that I got started out with team building, I joined on September 29th is when I joined Drip. The next day, I sent a message to my buddy Catalyst and said, "Hey, man, tell me what I need to do to team build for this, because I see all you guys doing it and it seems to be working well for you. What should I do to do the same thing?" He said, "Just write an article." I said, "Dude, I am not a writer." I said, "I am absolutely not a writer." He said, "Doesn't matter. Just write an article and see what happens for you." And so I was like, "You know what? Fine, I'll try it." So I had a little spare time. And so I started out with the most clickbaity of clickbait comments that there were, or title as there was. I believe my first title was something along the lines of how I turned $3,000 into $3 million, but not yet.
That's
And
the one that got me, I think, or one
I
some
know, I
article.
think you're right, because you were one of my early team members on there. And so September 29th, Ronald, was when I started in Drip. September 30th or October 1st was my first article that I wrote. And I got my first downline, whose name was Tom Brady, very shortly after that, within that first week there. And so, no, I just started writing. And again, at first, I wrote similarly to what other people were writing. Okay, which was clickbait titles and here's how you can become a millionaire doing this and all that. And I very quickly, like within 2 articles, figured out this is not my style, right? My style is not, hey, you're going to be a multimillionaire if you do this, 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 and this. It's like, no, I'm not that excitable, right? And so what I quickly turned into was just chronicling my drip journey through article forms. I did a 7-day update, I did a 10-day update, a 20-day update, a 30-day. And so that's really what I did, is like, guys, here's my real numbers for this. And this is what I'm telling you about right now, right this minute. You guys are living where I was at that time. When I bought into Drip, it was $7. I think my Drip buy was at $7.20. And so when I started writing articles, it had already gone up to 9 and 10. And then I'm writing articles. And so I'm able to show in those first few articles, look what I've already done with the price coming up, because now the price is at 14. And oh my gosh, I've doubled my initial investment. And that's where you guys live right now, is you guys are able to show this. Anybody new coming in right now, these are the types of things you're going to be able to show in your articles. Again, if you believe in the project moving forward with that. And so that's how I got my start. Was Catalyst told me to just start writing. I just started writing, sort of found my own voice as I was doing that. I still don't consider myself a writer. I write the way that I talk. I'm lecturing you guys on this right now. This is exactly what I would be saying in an article. And there's an article written down below about that. What do you mean by writing articles? So Medium articles, right? Medium is an incredible platform. You do not have to have a paid subscription to post articles on Medium. You can write about any topic that you want on Medium. It's really a great platform for getting content out there. And there's others, right? Medium is just one of them. And it's one that I had the ability and access to through the Cryptozoa team and the Cryptozoa publication, which at the time was really small, like probably around 1,000 people in the Cryptozoa publication. But I started out with 0 followers, just writing articles. And that was it. And people, the good thing about writing articles to do this, and James can say the same for YouTube videos too, search engine optimization, right? The whole world runs on search engine optimization. If somebody is out there looking for the Drip network, they're going to come across articles on Medium. They're going to come across YouTube videos. Why couldn't that be one of your articles, one of your YouTube videos, one of your articles somewhere besides Medium? Maybe a Drip landing page. I've talked to several people that have built some Drip landing pages specifically. You've got guys that have built tools on top of Drip. With Drip landing pages, and people come in and use their tools and join their teams. So many different ways to get involved in team building. Medium articles are the one that did that for me.
Yeah, and I think another thing that's cool about content, whether it be a YouTube video or a Medium article, is that it sits there for a long time. So like I have my original YouTube video I did on Drip. This was like a week after I got into Drip. It still is getting view. I got some comments on it this morning of people saying, hey, I'm getting into drip using your referral. And that's a video I made like almost 8 months ago. And people are still
Absolutely.
joining from
It,
that.
it's absolutely that, right? And so to that end, one of the interesting thing that happens sometimes when you write on Medium is that scraping bots will scrape your article and go repost it on another platform because that other platform just wants content to fill it. So they're literally stealing your content, right? The thing is, when they're stealing that content, they don't know or care what they're stealing. And so they leave all of your referral links and everything else in place. And so, one habit that I've gotten into as I've started new team wallets throughout this process, I'll go back to all of my old content and change the referral links everywhere I did it, everywhere I mentioned a wallet ID. I update that to my current team wallet ID. And so I've got these articles that have been stolen and reposted in other places. So I still pick up downlines on my older team wallets because of that. And these are content, again, from certainly pre-December that are doing exactly that. So it's out there forever. It's always working for you.
Yeah. And so when I jumped on, I want to show my screen here because I decided I was going to start doing Medium articles too, just because why not? And so, I have my YouTube stuff. I started YouTube in December 2021. And then at the same time, almost, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just write an article about drip. Okay. And it's not as popular as my article about strong nodes, but I didn't have any following at this time or anything. But I mean, I've had 3,000 views from this. And I mean, who knows how many referrals I've ended up from that. But just the fact that it's been an article about drip that's been out there for 8 months, I've gotten thousands of views on it. And this was, again, not for my audience. This was just me as an average Joe just starting out drip. And I did the same thing. I just said, hey, here's what I'm doing with drip. It's a cool idea. So again, anybody could do that and get 3,000 views like that.
And it's true. It's the exact same. And mine even looks crazier than yours, right? So again, like I said, I did not start my YouTube channel until March of this year, and I've not been promoting it very heavily. I mostly do interview style content because I do it for fun. I do it because I love doing this stuff. Like what I'm doing with James right now, this is one of my favorite videos of the week because I just love hanging out and talking about stuff more than anything else. But yeah, just like James, like I've got one called that was literally my 20-day. Let's see, are we on my screen now?
Yeah. Hope that was okay.
Yeah, no, you're great. I'm trying to find it. There we go. 60-day. Here's my 60-day update in drip. Crypto retirement update, 60 days in drip, because that was my goal when I got in, was to use drip to retire. And guess what? It worked for me. I did that, right? But 12,000 views, if I go to the detailed view here, I can look at this and I can see where this was when it was posted. But look, I had this huge spike. That was in December. This was posted in November. Late December, a month later, I get this huge spike of reads on it, because again, it's out there and this still gets reads to this day on there. And same thing with a lot of other ones, going all the way back to the very bottom here, how I plan to retire with drip and 1% daily income. So funny story about this one specifically. I did a YouTube video follow up on this specific article, and somebody just this week, like yesterday, it's got 11,000 views on it, but somebody just yesterday joined my team, and this was what brought them in, and they reached out on Telegram and everything else. And so that's it, it's just putting it out there. And so the biggest arguments that people get about writing articles, right? And again, my perspective on this is mostly from writing articles. Any content at all is good content, okay? So the big arguments are, number one, I'm not a writer. Well, I proved that. I'm not a writer either. I write the way I talk. I'm very conversational. It resonates with people. You never know what resonates with people. With some people, straight up by the book writing technique is going to resonate with them, right? My wife would read my stuff, who is an English major. She would read my stuff and say, oh my gosh, this is awful. I would never do what this guy says, But a guy like James, that's just in it for the good story, reads my stuff and says, man, I'm going to check this out and learn more about this. And that's because it was relatable to James, what I was writing about, how I was writing about it. It resonated with James for that, right? And so that which brings me to my second point. The other argument I get from so many people, because I talk to a lot of people about team building, is, well, everybody's already written about that. This has already been written about. There's thousands of drip articles out there. Everybody's explained drip and how it works. I say, you're right. That's true. It's absolutely true. But you know who hasn't done that? You. You have not done that from your perspective, from your story. How did you get into crypto? How did you end up finding drip, right? What are your goals with drip? What do you think about drip? Somebody else wants to hear your viewpoint on it, not mine. They may not like the way that I look at things or think of things because I'm as eccentric as it gets, but they might like the way that you have to say it. And that's why it's important to put it out there in your voice and do it in your own way. And there's room for everyone and every style of content out there.
I want to show too. This is kind of embarrassing, but I'll show it because I think it'll be encouraging for people. So again, this is my drip article. This was like right when I found drip. I really didn't know much about it. And I was like, okay, it has 5,000 views. I want to show you the actual article. So it was take a $10,000 investment, make it in 1 year, make it $81,000 a month, which I don't even know if that math is correct. I don't think I understood totally the math behind it when I wrote this. And then this is all it was. I just said, hey, I invested in this. They give you 1% a day. When I do the math, it works out to this. Here's my referral link. And that is literally, that's the whole article. And it's got 5,000 views. I don't know how many people have signed up from that article, but it was nothing special. It's actually a terrible article. If it didn't have so many views, I'd probably delete it.
No, and I'm with you. Like I said, my very first article was how I turned $3,000 into $2 million, but not yet. Right. You know, I mean, same kind of thing there. Let's pull it up there and see. Picture of, you know, wide open road, blue sky.
Yeah, I mean,
title buying, you know,
I've seen it.
That's it. Let's turn $3,000 into $2 million. You know, I was gung ho about it. Here's how to start. Right. You know, if you go back and look at the comments on that video that you posted up there, there's one from a crazy guy called JCCrypto that says, hey, you're on my downline. We need to talk.
That's right. That's right. That's how you found me.
That is. I found James because I was like, who is this that's building this huge team in my downline? And so I copied the address, searched for it in Google, came across James' article and then the YouTube channel. And that's how I connected with James. And we've been close since. But
yeah, that's right.
But no, guys, you've got to start somewhere. And just like anything else, when you're starting out, you're going to look back 6 months later and cringe at what you wrote. Like, I would never in a million years write a title like this right now. It's just not in me because I've found what is in me. I've found the voice that is mine. And that's what you've got to put out there is you've got to put your genuine true self out there. And that will resonate with a certain number of people. It might not get you tens of thousands of downloads, right? It doesn't take tens of thousands. You know, Carrie, what's our next topic? Because I don't want to jump too far ahead, James.
Yeah, no. Well, I'd like to talk about other ways to promote, but one thing I would like you to clarify, because I think you explain it better than I do, is just briefly, can you explain how the round robin works? I think that I'm seeing somebody in Telegram asking about that right now. So I just think we would it would be good for us to at least mention how that works.
Right, for sure. So the round robin system has changed. Okay, it works differently up until December than it does now. But we're going to ignore what was before December, and we're going to talk about the way that it works now. So let's say that you're on my team one. Okay, so if you're on my team one wallet is 11 levels from the dev wallet. So there's 11 levels above it. If you're one of my directs, there are 12 levels above you. Okay. So when you join, your initial deposit goes to the referral reward for your initial deposit goes to my team wallet. Okay. Now, the first time you hydrate, that skips my team wallet and the reward goes to my buddy's wallet. And then the next time you hydrate, it skips both of us and goes up. So that's the round robin system. It goes all the way up to the dev wallet. It hits the dev wallet once, and then it recycles back to my wallet so that the next time you hydrate, that let's just call it the 14th time you hydrate, that comes back to my wallet. And there's a maximum of 15 rounds on round robin. And so that's the whole thing with round robin, right? And only the initial deposit comes to the direct buddy. Any future deposits are handled by the round robin system in there. And so that's really all it is. It's not that hard to understand when you kind of think about it that way. Every time you hydrate, there's a number that is can't think of the name of the metric, but I'll have it in 2 seconds here. Reference position. There is a number in the contract called reference position. And if you, as you hydrate, that every time you take an action in the system, your reference position changes. If it's reference position 0, that means it's going to your buddy next. If it's 1, it means it's going up 1 level next. And so every time you take an action, it resets that reference number.
Yes, and then just to clarify, that's only when it gets to your spot in the round robin. You only get it if you have enough
B-Reap tokens to get it from the level that hits you, right?
Yeah.
So if you have somebody that's 15 levels below you and it hits you and you're only good for 5 levels, it just skips you completely and goes to the next one in the chain that has enough to catch that. Or if there's nobody above you with that 15, it just rotates back around.
Yeah, so it's rare for it to go the full 15. There's not a lot of people that have 1,597.
Right. No, I don't know that I've seen anybody, and I'm in some of the biggest. Let's see. Let's check this downline right here. Here, if you want to pull this screen up. So this is a tool by Rick Pierce. Really cool tool. I use it to check all of my wallets. You can actually view your entire wallet upline structure. And so we can see right here, here's mine. And so I'm covered for 7 levels still on this wallet. Because again, I held a bunch of B-Reap in this wallet in the beginning. 147 directs, 3,800 there. So this is my buddy. He's also covered for 7. So the highest in this chain is up here with 13 levels, right? Here's a wallet that's probably already maxed out because they have 0 referral coverage, right? And that's something else we're going to start seeing more as you get up the chain. You're going to start seeing some of these wallets closer to the dev wallet. Here's your dev wallet right here. We're going to see some of these wallets closer to the dev wallet maxing out and not being in this chain anymore.
Okay, very cool. No, I think that's super helpful. So I just wanted to clarify that because that was very confusing for me. And I just happened to check the drip telegram, and someone was asking about that. Hey, how come my buddy hydrated and I didn't get anything for it? And that's because it goes up to the next person.
And so let's look, while we're talking about the round robins, let's talk about team wallets too. Okay. And so a team wallet is any wallet that has over 5 directs or more, and you are considered a team wallet. Well, what does that mean? As a team builder, it doesn't really mean much. It means you get less rewards as a team builder. But what it does for your downline team and for those on their downline teams, every time that your hydrate hits a wallet that is a team wallet, you get a kickback. Okay. If it's your initial deposit that hits a team wallet and your buddy's a team wallet, you're going to get a 2.5% tax break sent back on your deposit. So instead of paying that 10% tax on your deposit, you're going to pay 7.5% on your initial deposit because you joined a team wallet. So it's a huge benefit for those joining below you. And it comes back as an airdrop. So it's literally like that team leader saying, hey, join me and I'm going to airdrop you back 2.5% of what you deposit. And that's really it. Now on the hydrating, right, and compounding rewards, same exact process. It's 25% of your taxes that gets kicked back, which works out to 1.75%. So you every time you hydrate and that hydrate reward hits a team wallet, you're going to get a 1.75% airdrop back on the amount you hydrated there. And that's a great thing and a great benefit to people that are building teams out to give to their downline. That's automatic airdrops with most actions that you take.
Okay. No, yeah. Thanks for verifying that. You are so helpful. If you weren't so expensive, I'd probably Say, hey, come be my assistant or something. Like, keep track. Help me out. Help me
You,
out with
you know
more.
me, I'm good to do videos like this with you anytime.
Yes, no, I appreciate that. So let's talk about some other ideas for promotion. Okay, so we have, I think the articles is something anybody can do from no following. You can start a YouTube channel. Do you want to talk about maybe why you started your YouTube channel and how that's been going for you?
Sure. And so, as far as article writing, over the time that I was writing articles, I actually have more subscribers on Medium than I do on YouTube. How sad is that? I've got over 2,000 followers on Medium now, and it's just because I pumped out regular content. And that's the key. That's the key for YouTube. That's the key for Medium. That's the key for whatever other group you're in. It's about being consistent in your content. And you can speak to that, to the YouTube algorithm specifically. It's about content consistency. And so, like I said earlier, I switched to YouTube mainly just for something to do, right? So I didn't get bored in my newfound retirement from DeFi. And it turned out to be that now I spend significantly more time working on this stuff than I ever did when I had the software company. But I love it because I enjoy it and this is fun. And so, as far as growing my channel, honestly, I've never really put a big focus into growing my channel. I just do the type of content that I like to do. And sure, I've tested the waters with different things. I've done some paid AMAs because all YouTubers have to go through that. Well, the favorite thing that I do on my channel is called the Hangouts series. And it's sort of a Joe Rogan style podcast hangout where I have other YouTubers come on. I'm doing one with Austin Clark in a few weeks. I'm doing one with James as soon as he picks a date and comes on there to do that with me.
Oh, yes.
Putting you on the spot there. No, but it is, I've had a lot of the Drip YouTube guys on there, Beach Office 365, Driptopian. I know some of those guys are watching right now even. And it is, we have a lot of fun on that. And that's the most fun thing I do on my channel because I would rather just hang around and talk, right, more than anything else. And so that's kind of what my YouTube channel has turned into and will be turning into more in the future, is interview style content, very much like this. If we want to come in and talk about projects, we will. If we want to come in and talk about life, we will, and do that. But the transition for YouTube was mostly just to keep myself busy in there. I still do write some Medium articles as well. I am personally slowing down on a lot of team building things because I've built up a large team, right? I don't really need to build a large team to grow my Drip anymore or to grow a lot of other platforms, but I'm extremely passionate about helping other people build their teams. And I think that's where this gets really special for a lot of projects, other projects too, right? And that's a big part of what helps Patrick at Cryptozoa grow to be one of the largest Drip teams. Cryptozoa crossed over 22,000 Drip members this week. Like 22,000 in his downline for that. And a large part of that is James and I and others too. But the reason that even James and I are a part of that is because he had the vision to say, you know what? Yes, I can build a team and build out, my directs and downlines, but where the true success lies is in helping and teaching them to build and grow their own teams. And that's why we're doing this video, is because that's a mantra that I love that Patrick put out there. And it's something that I want to push and drive forward and help other people do the same things that I've been fortunate enough to be able to do, and help other people understand that even as a regular guy, you can build a team, even if it's 5 people, 10 people, one of the things down below is a how to write articles link from Fleming Arnott, right? And so Fleming is another one of my team members, and he and I are hanging out in Colorado a few weeks ago at the Cryptozoa team meetup, and it was just he and I sitting there talking. And he said, I just really need to refocus and get back. And he's from the UK, he flew in. I really need to refocus and get back into writing more articles and doing a lot more for that. And he said, I just don't feel like my team numbers really stack up. I was like, well, let's go look at your team numbers and compare them to everybody else. And Fleming's got 133 directs, which anybody that's watching this right now that has tried team building knows and understands that 133 directs is a freakishly large number for what most people do in Drip team building, right? So don't go out there and think, oh, James has thousands of directs, JC has hundreds of directs. Those aren't your targets. We're not the guys that you compare to. We have been extremely successful with team building. 5, 10, 15 is incredible, right? And the more you position yourself now, the better you are for the next bull run of the entire crypto market in any project.
Yeah, and don't forget that while we're in the bear market, no one's getting very many direct
No.
referrals. Okay, like I'm not getting very many now. They kind of trickle in. Whereas there was at one time when we were in the bull market where I was getting so many. And another thing I wanted to emphasize that you said was to just get started. So I was looking back at my first YouTube videos. Okay, these are my very beginning. I didn't even have thumbnails. I didn't even bother to create a thumbnail for my first 6 videos. But I started with how do you buy Bitcoin, and then look at my drip video. This was my 6th video that I ever made, and all I did was show what drip was. And now, 8 months later, it's got 24,000 views. And that's where a big chunk of my referrals have come from. And again, I had 0 subscribers when I made I think I probably had 100 subscribers maybe when I made this video. But you just don't know where it's going to go. And over time, it's become such a big thing.
It's great. And that too, I'm going to say that, and I'm going to let out a big secret right now. Drip is great for algorithms, right? It's a huge community. People are always searching for it. This video is going to be one of James' most watched videos over the last few weeks because it's a drip specific video and the drip community loves these things, right? Now, that's saying that a whole bunch of people that already like drip are seeing this video, but what that truly does is tell the YouTube algorithms, or if it's a Medium article, tell the Medium algorithms that, hey, people like this content, and so they're going to show it to more new people as well, and it works both ways there. And so drip is an incredible draw for content. There is a specific YouTuber I will not name that has been accused of putting drip in his title and using that just to gain subscribers and then flip on the drip channel. And he did that because he's a marketing guy. He knew that he could get drip going there. And honestly, I don't buy into all of that. I feel like he's actually a decent guy and felt like that he truly believed in drip in the beginning, was chronicling his journey, and then made some shifts later on, which is valid and acceptable. People can change on things, one of my hot button topics. But that just goes to show you that the drip keywords are fantastic for the algorithms on any content platform, because so many people are searching and wanting drip content that just writing or making videos about drip in general will help improve your viewership statistics.
Yeah, no, very, very, very good point. Okay, so we talked about Medium. We talked about you can start a YouTube channel. I have some big ideas for marketing that I would like to share in case someone wants to run with them. But JC, do you have more things that you want to talk about before I get into some of that?
No, I think I'm great. Like I said, the 2 links for the article that I wrote about writing articles, and then the tips that Fleming wrote on how to write Medium articles, those will get you a long way there, is just reading those 2 articles. And we both kind of give a step-by-step to our process and how we write articles to do that. So no, I'm all about hearing your marketing ideas, because you're right. We want to see people take ideas like this and run with them.
Okay. Yeah. So here's what I would do. So I come from a background, I ran a business. And so I come from kind of a marketing background, you might say, traditional marketing. So, like, what we would do in traditional marketing is you create like a funnel where, and I've not seen anyone do this for drip yet, just a traditional marketing funnel where you start with like a free guide. Here's how you buy BNB or something, some PDF that explains, hey, here's how you buy your first cryptocurrency, BNB. And then you just give this free PDF of like walking through the steps of creating an account on Binance, putting in money, buying BNB. Then you start to create an email list by giving people this free PDF. And what happens is you build this email list, and then you can kind of start to funnel people to, okay, now that you have some BNB, you can wait and just see if your BNB appreciates, or you can get involved in DeFi by buying drip. And I would love to, if I had more time, I would do this I would spend a week doing this. It wouldn't take you that long.
No.
But a
And it's a great
marketing
way to
funnel.
do it. That's it. Step people through the process. And that just goes to doing the things that are going to resonate with people in your own way. And yeah, landing pages are huge, right? That's how you would traditionally do this in traditional marketing. If you've got that experience, go do it, use it. Even if there's 50 different landing pages for drip out there, none of them have been done the way you're going to do it.
Yep, totally. And I don't think we realize how few people are in drip compared to how many people there are in the world.
Right.
Like there's just
Well, we all look at drip and it's like, oh, guys, we're like at 126,000 people, and that's huge and massive. And sure, in the DeFi space, that is right. In the entire crypto space, it's not, and that's just in the crypto space. And yeah, and can bring that out to the world and everything else. Plus, I truly believe that the next bull run is going to be so much bigger as more normal people come in. We just talked about that on This Week in Drip a few minutes ago, plenty. And yeah, there's so much room to grow with drip already.
yeah, totally. And I'd love to hear if anybody in the audience, I would love for you to hear some of your ideas because, again, I'm not really looking for creative ways to market drip. I've found my way I'm going to promote it and it's working great. And I'm just going to keep doing that. But if you don't have a YouTube channel, you can start to think of, hey, what are some creative ways that I can do this? So I'd love to hear some of your ideas. I think other languages is a
Yeah,
huge opportunity. If you speak
huge.
German,
Absolutely.
there's a ton of market there. There's not as many people, there's not as many Germans in drip as there
No,
are
there's
Americans.
not. And listen, if you've got ties to the Chinese market and can do something there, that's without question going to be a great potential one there. And to that point, within the Cryptozoa team, some articles are allowed to be translated to other languages and republished on Medium for those languages. Um, and Medium's not really a great multilingual platform at all, but it still puts content out there in another native language. And so absolutely, other language content is a fantastic mechanism.
Yep, I think that'd be great. And then yeah, I was thinking about this as we were talking. TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a big drip
So TikTok
TikTok.
cuts down. TikTok does like to cut down on crypto content, but that doesn't mean there aren't ways to get there, right? It's kind of like you were saying how you got started. You already had some platform when you got started. You can build a platform around anything at all, and then start to bring in crypto content, and then start to bring in drip content. That's something that we get locked into so much is we want things to happen overnight, right? We want things to happen instantly. Guys, this is a long-term game. Take your time, build it up. Don't expect to write one article and get 50 directs off of it, right? The best thing I ever did for my article writing and boosting subscribers is I took a week and said, I'm going to write an article every day this week. And I did that. And I feel like that really helped kick me off because it's just about consistency, in wherever you do it. Absolutely. Facebook, Instagram. Instagram is another good one. Instagram is a good one. They do allow things like that. Shorts, YouTube shorts. Maybe you are more of the little shorts and things like that, and a hype guy, right? And that's another thing to talk about. There's different types of promoters, right, James?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so you've got guys, Stunna Breezy, okay? Stunna is a huge promoter and a really great promoter, super high energy, not the style of things that I would ever do because it doesn't fit my personality, but it fits his personality perfectly. And he wears that so well and does so much good for the drip community through doing that, right? Same thing with Ray. Ray is like that also. Crypto Kings is another one that's really good and really a high energy promoter. And again, those guys don't do it the way I do it. They do it the way they do it. And it works really well for them. And it resonates with people that they resonate with versus the people that I resonate with. And it makes it where we can all be good friends about it too,
Yeah, nope. I think that's awesome. So really the sky's the limit. And I
Yeah.
think consistency and just doing something. Most people that I see fail is because they haven't done anything. They thought, oh, it's not going to work. My YouTube channel will never be as big as James, or it'll just never work. Here's one. Jack says there's a new YouTuber who's making comedy skits on Drip. I
That's
mean,
a new
that's
angle. That's
yep,
great.
that's a new angle.
I've seen. I know that Scott the investor might be out there still watching this, and he's put some funny Drip commercials out at points that are really funny too. And you know, humor sells and hits people, right? And that's a great angle.
Yeah, and we are early. Someone said that, Jax. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jax,
it
you
was
got all the
Jackson.
good
Yeah,
comments. But
Jackson's a
we're
rock star.
yeah, he is. But we're early. Like it's not like we're trying to sell what's something that we're not early on. Bread. We'll say sliced bread. Okay, we'll just use that one. It's not like we're trying to sell sliced bread here where like this is a newer thing and there's not very many people in it. If you go talk to 50 people on the street, I bet you none of them have ever heard of Drip. I bet you'll
Yeah.
go 0 for
Hey,
50.
I did get a text message from somebody. My kids were competitive wakeboarders when they were younger, like 6, 8 years ago when they were way younger. I think we might have talked about that before. But I got a text from one of the wakeboard dads from that time period that said, "Hey, man, I just came across your JCCrypto YouTube channel. I've actually been looking at Drip. Can we chat sometime?"
There you go.
And that was awesome, right? But you're right. In the real world, very few people do know about Drip. We are early. Now's the time to start working on your content game, no matter what mechanism you choose. YouTube, Medium, another platform. Go make the landing page, guys. So many people in this space are technology people. So many people in this space have the ability to take the time and go build that landing page, right? Team up with somebody that's a marketing person, create a shared wallet and go do it. You know, there are so many opportunities to put content out there that resonate with people with your voice and go for it.
Yep. Nope. I love that. And
Or
that's what I
continue
was
to go solo and have a hydrate heavy schedule, and that's great. I have, like I said, I have multiple wallets that are 100% solo. I will never team build on them because that wasn't their purpose, right? I put in specific deposit amounts. I hydrate 4 days a week. I claim 3 days a week. That's my standard schedule for Drip because again, Drip pays 100% of my salary, so I have to claim and sell Drip every week to feed my family. That was the whole purpose for me of getting in Drip. But the majority of my wallets, I only have 3 team building wallets, right? The majority of my wallets run that hydrate heavy schedule and play the game solo. And I love the way that they grow. They grow perfectly well without team building. Team building is just an opportunity to supercharge your opportunities.
Yep, absolutely. Well, hey, we hit the hour mark. I'm going to let you go, JC. He's actually recovering from being ill. Is it COVID? Is that
COVID. It's
okay?
COVID. I'm on the tail end. This was a good one, though. I appreciate
Okay.
being able to do it. Thanks for bringing me on, and look forward to doing a hangout with you on my channel before too long.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was violating HIPAA by mentioning that you had COVID or anything like that, but
I'm an
uh,
open book, right?
okay.
I publicly say that I sell Drip. It does not get much more violating than that.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, JC, well, first off, gonna thank the audience,
Yeah.
except for Patrick A, who he just said big scam. So I'm
Oh,
gonna Patrick, that's not helpful. I'm gonna put you in
yeah.
timeout. I love that. It's like I wish it was this easy to put your kids in timeout, just clicking a couple buttons. But no, I appreciate you guys in the audience. Please hit the like button on your way out. If you're watching this as a replay, please hit the like button. If you haven't signed up for Drip, I put JC's wallet in the description, so go give him some credit. And appreciate that. Again, he's using this to pay his bills, so yeah, I do appreciate that. And then JC, thank you for hopping on even when you're ill. Appreciate you helping us and working with us, and I just appreciate how you've helped me.
I love it, man. I appreciate it. Everybody go out and have a great rest of your evening.
All right, take care, everybody.